Hello, and welcome to the online MBA Financial Statement Analysis class. I'm Professor Larry Louie, and it is my pleasure to teach you about accounting and financial reports. I know many of you find this topic a little bit intimidating, but believe me, it's an important topic that you can learn. So hang with it, and you'll be just fine. First, a little bit about my background. Accounting and finance are my mother disciplines. I studied it at the University of California at Berkeley, where I received a double major in accounting and finance. After that, I worked at KPMG for a few years in audit and also helped them start their small business advisory practice. Then I went to business school at Stanford, where I received my MBA, and I took every single class, not in accounting, but every single class in entrepreneurship and in real estate. After that, I worked at Bain & Company for about 3 years, doing strategic management consulting. And then after that, I worked in a number of small and high growth companies until I started teaching back in 2001 at University of San Francisco. And I came to Hult in 2010 and have been here ever since. We will focus on two major learning objectives. First is evaluate financial statements in order to determine if they have good financial performance and if they're in strong financial health. The second is to learn the basics of managing finances inside of a company. And those might be making decisions, using financial tools, or they might be in managing the finances of a business. The journey that we'll encounter is going to be covered in 6 modules, all facilitated through asynchronous learning with Coursera and one video that I will be doing. The first module is covering the introduction to financial accounting and financial statements. The second is looking at the balance sheet, starting with assets and liabilities. The third topic is wrapping up the balance sheet with shareholders' equity, then moving on to financial statements generally and SEC reporting requirements. Class 4 is the analysis of financial statements and a bit on sustainable finance, which is an important and interesting evolution in corporate world right now. Fifth is managerial accounting, and this is looking at break-even analysis, decision-making models, and also product costs that are useful inside of a company. And sixth is to then look at operating budgets and capital investments. So these 6 classes will enable us to meet the 2 learning objectives, to look at financial statements, know what we're looking at, and then do some analysis to evaluate whether they're doing well or not. And then the last 2 classes are inside the company. How do we use numbers to make decisions and also make sure that the business is on track, both in terms of budgeting and also in terms of where we invest our money. The typical learning approach that we will be using is there will be a module overview, which is a very brief video that I will put on what you're about to see in that particular module. Then you'll go through the content, and those would be videos, readings, practice quizzes, some of which are ungraded, and then case exercises as appropriate. Then there's a discussion board if you would like to engage with your colleagues to communicate about the topics that you're learning or have questions about. I may put an occasional teaser of a Wall Street Journal article just to spur some conversation. And then we'll have office hours. I will hold these. They're optional, but they're strongly recommended. These have been very useful for students. Even for students that don't have questions, to listen in often leads to some learning as well. So I hope you can attend those. Then we'll have more extensive video, which is called the key takeaways. And that's where I summarize some of the main points that are covered in the module. And that's accompanied by a more detailed Word document that essentially is a outline or a summary of the entire module. Then there's a quiz. So I will devise quizzes that are inside my courses that will just wrap up a module. So we'll rinse and repeat this 6 times, and then we'll be done with the course. As far as the assessments for the course, we will have one component, which is completing the modules, because we know when you're logging in, we know you're making progress, and therefore you get credit of 20% for completion of those materials. Then we'll look at module quizzes. Those are the ones that I just referred to in my courses. Those are worth 25%. And then the final assessment, which is essentially a take-home exercise. When you complete it, that will be worth 55%. So that's the grading for the course. So it's mainly learning through all the modules and the quizzes and the office hours, and then demonstrating to yourself and me that you understand it and that you've now kind of checked the box of being able to understand statements and to use them for internal financial purposes. I hope you're ready to get started. I look forward to meeting you at our first office hours. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.